from the ABC 12 studios, this is Good Morning Mid-Michigan.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. I'm Matt Barbour, and every morning at 9 o'clock, you let me into your homes when you tune in to Good Morning Mid-Michigan right here on ABC 12. It has been a pleasure for the past few years to share with you what has been going on in your communities. I love having guests on the show and giving them a chance to share their stories, but what makes my job exciting is when I get to meet you in your community. For 12 in your town, I get the chance to get out of the studio and stretch my legs. I get to see firsthand so many of the wonderful, hardworking people who make Mid-Michigan so great. Here are some of the best stories from this past year. Pride in Country Village sits on East Holland Road, 3 miles east of I-75 in Buena Vista Township.
You can't miss us. There's a caboose out by the road. When you see the caboose, get your blinker on.
Village is in the name for a reason. On the property, you'll find a farmhouse, a barn, a restored schoolhouse from 1899, and more.
I started in the basement of my home.
Barb Sheehan started selling homewares from her home wood shop in 1989, but her business grew. In 1993, Pride and Country became a labor of love.
But that was the school, and that's the before and the after.
I opened up my shop in the farmhouse, and it just took off. The gentleman paid me a visit my third day open in business, and he mentored me to the day he passed.
This self-proclaimed farm girl says she leaned on that mentor to become more business savvy.
That gentleman that I had the honor of mentoring me was Wally Brunner.
Over time, her village grew.
Our busiest shop is the mill.
Inside, you'll find every kind of yard steak you can imagine.
I mean, I actually thought of changing the name of the business to Garden Steaks R Us. I mean, we carry so many garden steaks.
It's also the place to shop for every season.
Everybody loves the seasonal shop because it flips totally 4 times a year. Like in the next 2 weeks, we'll be flipping it into Christmas.
When you need a food break, you can head over to the barn where there's a deli, an ice cream counter, and plenty of coffee for sale. Barb also bakes all the cookies herself.
I do it with a hand mixer, a double batch at a time, and a regular oven.
She then took us upstairs.
Upstairs is our design center here in the barn. These are my valances. We're noted for curtains on valances. Not many places carry them, so that's really a niche for us.
You'll also find area rugs and wallpaper. Over in the 1904 farmhouse on the property, 5 levels of home furnishings.
We sell a lot of furniture. Delivery trucks out quite often.
And next door is the renovated schoolhouse. It's home to a ladies' boutique and Kathy Hillard.
People come from all over, and when they do come, they are so amazed at everything that is offered.
She's worked here for almost 8 years. Her favorite part of the job?
Probably the customers. They are friendly, they're kind, they're considerate.
And Barb agrees. She never meets a stranger.
I've made so many friends.
Pleasing her customers is her motivation.
I'm a meeting place, whether it be church groups or red hats or birthday parties.
Her other motivation? Her faith.
We're Christian based. You know, we play Christian music. I talk to the Lord all day long.
While she is proud of what she's built here, she stays humble. Her goal is to provide an enjoyable, affordable shopping experience.
We're big enough that we can order in 72 of something where a normal shop would order in 6 or 12.
You could spend hours exploring the grounds, including checking out the pond filled with giant goldfish. She invites you to stop by and stay a while.
I love what I do because my heart's here.
Inside Back Alley Fibers in Cairo.
They are going to find some people that love the passion of yarn.
And every color of the rainbow, even yarn colors inspired by nature.
They're going to find every color and shape and size and material of yarn that they would ever imagine. Wool, llama, paca, silk.
From all over, including suppliers in Michigan.
I've crocheted since I was 5. My grandma taught me how to crochet.
Sherry Adams is at the helm. She took over the store about a year ago.
When you have a yarn passion, you have a yarn passion.
And the passion isn't just for yarn, it's for people.
We eat and we talk and we knit.
Mary Gear helped run the business 17 years before Sherry. On any given day, you'll find her sitting around the table with her friends.
Doing it at home is great, but knitting is a social thing.
When we stopped by, she was working on a pair of slippers.
And I'm starting the second one. because you have to make two because you got 2 feet.
Every night we do a different type of project that people could just come on out, sit down and learn or do. For example, the hat project.
The Hat Project, in honor of Sherry's close friend Tina, who recently passed away.
She had a lot of yarn and she donated it to the shop.
Sherry's daughter is a teacher in Cassidy's schools, and those in the shop wanted to do something positive, so volunteers decided to make hats for about 30 third graders.
They colored the hat pattern.
The kids picked their design and the volunteers got to work, adorning the hats with the special button in Tina's honor. The kids loved it.
Nothing better than making a beautiful project and giving it away.
She invites anyone who's interested in learning to stop by the shop.
Knitting and crocheting is actually a stress reliever.
And don't know the difference between them? They'll help with that too.
Knitting uses 2 needles and crochet uses 1.
But no matter the method, it's the fulfillment that comes from making something beautiful and unique.
When it comes down to it, you're taking yarn and you're knotting it into a beautiful garment.
And once you start, you won't be able to stop. Just ask Mary. And you keep coming back.
Well, yeah, it's an addiction.
I really like this area, really like the community.
You may be drawn in by the sign, Minerealm, the ultimate mineral realm and metaphysical gift shop.
I've wanted this since I was 10 years old.
Inside the shop off West Thompson Road in Fenton Township, you'll find Cynthia Rodriguez.
I am very passionate about helping people connect to the earth and helping people heal. The stones in here are thousands to billions of years old. It's like having Earth's history in your hands.
There are hundreds of stones and crystals from every color of the rainbow.
I'm just extremely passionate about this. I've been studying crystals and their metaphysical properties and their chemical makeup, how they were formed.
And they come from all over.
I literally buy from all over the world. We just purchased from Greenland, I purchased from Egypt, I've purchased from Pakistan, so it's literally all over the world.
She started her business online a few years ago.
Originally, I was into the geology side of things.
But then opened up her physical store 2 years ago.
A lot of people ask me, how do stones work? And it's not really about how stones work, but how you work with the stones. This is Cana calcite from Mexico.
She was more than excited to show off one of her favorite stones.
It's for the heart chakra, it's for love, it's for abundance, prosperity. I have pretty bad anxiety, and the crystals have really helped with that. What I like to tell people is to, when they have their stones, hold the stone in the palm of your hand, close your eyes, say what you want it to do for you, and then envision it working.
She realizes not everyone is familiar with this world.
I know it's not for everyone.
But she welcomes all to the store who want to learn more.
Believing in this stuff, giving it a chance, I think it's opened up a whole new world for a lot of people.
And it's not just the unique crystals and home decor she has to offer in the store.
We also have different services. We have tarot readings, Reiki healings, Akashic clearings, and massage.
Cynthia faced some doubts when she started up her new venture, but she encourages others to follow their hearts.
Follow your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something or that it's dumb. If you want something bad enough, it'll work out.
When I'm retired, I get up in the morning, I've got something to do.
Kit Maloney is always on the move.
I'm not a person to sit around, so I'd rather be busy.
She knows every item inside her store in Linden.
It does not wrinkle, it packs. This is called their travel dress.
There's much to see inside of Thimbleberry Antiques.
Oh, they're going to find everything.
35 years ago, Kit started with a small space selling antiques. It's now grown into the space you see today.
My husband and sons came out and spent a week, and they sanded all. They took up indoor-outdoor carpeting, sanded the floors, and painted the whole inside.
You can't miss it. It sits on the corner of Bridge and Broad Streets downtown.
Oh, I love the spot, yeah. It's in the historic district. It's a historic building.
The building itself dates back to the 1800s.
It was a hardware store for over 50 years.
But the building isn't the only thing with historical value. Kit is a bit of a collector.
It's fun, and I can buy what I want, and I'm my own boss. And it's most probably partially a hobby as much as anything.
It all started when a friend years ago encouraged her to explore her hobby of collecting finer things.
She talked me into opening it up kind of as a hobby, and now it's overgrown itself.
She's come a long way from what she used to do.
I'm retired from the Michigan State Police, and I was a lab director at several different labs, including Lansing.
Instead of examining evidence, she now examines items from yesteryear to learn more about their history.
Well, I've been here a long time. Most of the antiques are coming in the front door from people that want to sell things.
She's fascinated to learn the stories.
There's sort of a historical pathway for a lot of the things we're using today.
From a cabinet full of vintage linens to her weakness, glass and china.
That's one of the things that's in less demand.
Which is why she offers such a variety in her store, from old to new. You never know what you're going to find.
There's so many times people have come in looking for something and they found something that's unique to them, and they're so delighted with it.
And she says, be prepared. You may end up spending a few hours in here.
People walk around, they say, we've got to walk around again. Oh, we forgot to look up.
Some very unique shops owned by some very unique people, each with their own little charm. But I usually get hungry after a busy day of shopping, and on Good Morning Mid-Michigan, we sure love to eat. There's never a shortage of great little places to eat in Mid-Michigan. No matter where we've stopped for 12 in your town, we found some great spots that were worth checking out. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, these next stories have it all.
We started off strong. The first 2 weeks was great, and then it, like any up-and-coming business, no one knew about us, so it hit a wall, and we were kind of scared that we were going to fail already.
Brandon and Jennifer Mead opened their bakery in downtown Owasso, Cakey Cakes, in June of 2022.
A lot of customers had walked in asking if we'd make bagels, which we'd never done before.
I had never made a bagel in my life.
Jennifer, a cake decorator, got to work.
Whatever people want, whatever people are wanting to buy is what we're going to do.
That's where we got the idea, is from listening to the people.
With bagels added to the menu and to the business name, Cakey Cakes and Bagels, they were on a roll.
We changed the name to tack on bagels because it needed to be in the name because it's that much of the business now.
That one's jalapeno.
Fast forward almost 2 years later, they've perfected making fresh, hand-rolled bagels.
They come out of the oven at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we'll have people waiting at the door a lot of mornings.
The bagels now make up about 50% or more of their sales.
It happens quite frequently now where people know that if they don't message us or get here early, they're gone.
And they're always looking to innovate.
We make a Cheddar Bay biscuit bagel that wasn't our idea, that kind of makes us mad because we didn't think of it. But it was a customer's idea to replace one of the ones that we shifted out, and it was a great idea.
Their variety of flavors, like a pickle bagel, keep customers coming back for more.
I think that's what our calling card downtown is now, is bagels.
But the other half of their sales includes a variety of cupcakes, delectable donuts, and custom cakes.
We really try to fill a need in the community, and we try to make things that other people aren't making.
When it comes to recipes, like if someone has something wacky that they want us to make that no one else will, we'll give it a shot.
You want a cake in the shape of a shoe? They'll do that. You want a scary Friday the 13th cake? They'll do that too.
I also really like seeing people's faces when they pick it up.
She and her husband say owning their own business is a dream come true.
It's been fun. It's been great, a lot of hours, but getting to decorate and bake and create things is fantastic.
She enjoys being a part of special moments like weddings or birthdays.
It's getting to be a part of people's celebrations.
Hanging out with the people, talking to customers, meeting everybody, it feels like we've met the entire town.
And they're thankful for the support. If anything, they've learned you have to be flexible as a small business owner, even if that includes changing your business name.
And that was never the plan, it just kind of worked out that way.
Inside this unassuming building off Bay Street in Saginaw, it's organized chaos.
Basically quick in and out type of style deli.
When we stopped by Intermission Deli, it was a little before the lunch hour rush, but customers were already lining up.
I mean, there'll be a line of people at the door, the phone will be ringing, and it's just chaos. We try to get people's names to get their sandwiches so we don't mix anything up.
Dan Stoney says the menu is simple.
We do submarine sandwiches and salads.
But the choices are plenty, with 40 different sub options on the board.
I like the number 9, roast beef, corned beef pastrami. It's really good.
You'll find Dan's dad, Scott, behind the counter.
Dad's still in charge.
He says he's the glue to the operation.
It's awesome. I enjoy it. I get to work with him every day.
His shop started out in 1982 in Old Town Saginaw inside a theater, hence the Intermission name, but they've called this location home since 1990.
It's kind of a hidden little spot. We like it like that.
But not hidden enough to drive in the customers like Paula.
Best tuna sub in town.
What'd you get today?
Tuna.
She and others appreciate the great food and great service.
They're way better than the chains out there. The bread is fresh, the food is fresh, and they're just so friendly in there. They know, as you can see, a lot of regulars. They know their customers.
The support from the community is great. We get customers that come in almost every day.
Dan says they try their best to learn names, but a lot of times they know folks by their orders.
Everyone that comes in, we try to know them by name, you know, get to or what they have to eat. We may not know their name, but we know what they like to eat.
He says it's a lot of work.
We got a good crew too. These guys are all like brothers to us.
But it's the work they put in that makes the difference.
We're in here every day, prepping, preparing.
And sets them apart.
Fresh bread, and we slice everything here right in house. The bread's local right here at Napolitano Bakery, so we get that fresh every day.
Dan and the crew say they enjoy feeding the Saginaw community.
Try to go up above and beyond for everyone and make sure that they have a good enjoyment while they're here.
And he encourages locals to stop by if they haven't checked them out before.
It's a good product, you know, we put a lot of effort into what we have here.
Walking into Jack's is kind of like a step back in time.
We originally started in 1973 as Jack's Fruit Market.
Megan Lupo and some of her family members have worked for Jack's over the years. This year it celebrated 51 years in business with more than 300 employees, and it all started in Essexville.
We are very much a community-based business. I mean, we live in these areas, we shop in these areas, so being able to have that quality in our stores that we would also want in our homes is very important to us.
What started as a fruit market grew into a store that is now known for its meat counter with plenty of workers ready to help.
I really think it's our full-service meat counter, so we run our trucks to Detroit as well as Grand Rapids several times throughout the week so that we're able to have that fresh quality products every day in our stores.
Jack's is also big on supporting local by buying produce and products from local farmers.
You will notice that we have a lot of Michigan products as well.
I love the fresh produce, prices, people.
One of the many reasons shoppers like Ann Wolf keep coming back.
I'd rather shop from a small business than give my money to the big whatever.
When we come to Bay City, then we always stop here.
Anita and Larry Holdwick make the trip from their home in Seaboing to check out the latest deals.
We like their meat counter and we like the prices on their food.
We are very fortunate to have so many great communities that support us, and it's very evident whether you read our reviews, whether you're in the stores talking to customers, or just the day-to-day interaction. We're very fortunate.
Megan says in the days of larger store chains, they're proud to be a hometown store.
People get that personalized experience that you may not have in the big box retailer, so I definitely think that people can appreciate that.
And Jack's continues to make improvements. When we stop by, crews are making progress on a new roof. 51 years in and plenty more to come.
I hope that our customers know just how much they mean to us. Everything we do really is focused on them.
I hope you're hungry now. I know I am. Traveling all over Mid-Michigan, there are so many stories highlighting our history and the people who love to share those stories. 12 in Your Town met some people who celebrate stories of the past and hope to carry that history on for others to learn in the future. What once was old is new again, as you will find in these next stories.
We're in the Otisville Museum here.
Just off East Main Street in Otisville sits this building chock full of history.
Our mission is to gather and preserve the history of the Otisville area.
Daryl Banyas is the chairman of the Otisville Area Historical Association. He grew up here and knows a lot about the area.
The area, of course, is typical of most towns in Michigan. It started out rich in lumber, and the sawmills came, the lumberjacks came.
Hence the name Forest Township, where you'll find Otisville.
At one time, there was 13 sawmills in Forest Township here.
You'll not only find the story of Otisville, but unique items you won't find anywhere else.
One of our prize items here is the set of elk antlers.
Two boys pulled the giant antlers from Picnic Lake back in the 1930s.
This is a species of eastern elk. It's been extinct in Michigan since 1886.
The antlers are carbon dated back to the 15 and 1600s.
In the other room in there, we have a library.
That's where you'll find a treasure trove of death records, birth certificates, and military records. A slideshow of pictures plays on a TV honoring local vets.
I think it's a great thing for for people to learn and remember, because if you don't preserve history, your generations coming up aren't going to know anything about it, and I think that's a lot of respect.
It's also a place to celebrate local talent, like the wooden model creations from the mind of 95-year-old Leonard Carpenter.
Well, I started out by making doll houses for my granddaughters.
He built miniature versions of some houses in town, a church, and other buildings found at Crossroads Village.
Each one of them took a lot of time, maybe 100 hours or something like that, so sure, I'm proud of them.
We are proud of this place, and we couldn't have asked for a better location.
The property once belonged to a fur trader. The Historical Association ended up buying it for $1 and broke ground in 2010, repurposing buildings on the property.
Where we're standing was a garage.
Banyas and others take great pride in what they've built here, but like most historical groups, the members are now in their 70s, 80s, and 90s.
We're still waiting for that younger generation to come up.
In the meantime, he's dedicated to keeping the history of Otisville alive.
It's up to us to keep it going.
The original owner started in 2010.
Retro Replayed off Saginaw Street in Burton is a treasure trove for gamers.
They will find an assortment of retro video games all the way to next-gen video games like PlayStation 5. We just added comic books in a year ago. We're starting to carry toys and cards.
Kyle Waitoko was an employee when the old owner was ready for something new.
I was like, I'll buy the store. So I bought it.
That was 4 years ago.
I was like scared, like, you know, I'm only 28, I was 24 at the time, so I was like young and I never owned a business, never ran a business. So I kind of just jumped in feet first and here we are.
Not only will you find a variety of video games and gaming consoles, there's plenty of movies in the movie room.
I'm a huge movie buff, so the games kind of came second. So I have an expansive knowledge of movies and I'm still working on like learning more about games. I get educated a lot by customers on, you know, why this game's good or why it's not.
But it's those vintage video games that keep customers coming back. A lot of the games are trade-ins from customers, while others Kyle buys at conventions.
I sell the gaming systems, consoles, accessories, anything that, you know, would go with the game, I sell.
Some of them dating back decades.
The oldest games I have right now are the original Nintendo. For Super Nintendo, my favorite was always Super Godzilla. There's probably 15,000 games, if not more, in here. I like to brag to people that, you know, they come and they say they have big game collections, and I'm like, actually, I have the biggest game collection.
He says his store attracts a wide range of customers.
It definitely ranges, especially age-wise. Like, you get people who are, you know, 40s and 50s that gravitate towards the retro stuff, and then you get people that are younger that gravitate towards, like, the next-gen stuff.
For many, it's a trip down memory lane.
I do get a lot of people that come in that they'll, like, impulsively be like, you know, oh, I had this game for the N64 when I was a kid, and, you know, I'd love to play it again, and they get the whole setup in their games, and then they start building a collection off of that.
He says it's encouraging to see younger people interested in some of the so-called old stuff.
I'm always excited, especially when they're like a younger, you know, generation that are interested in the older games. That always like gets me excited because it shows that the hobby's still alive.
Even though sometimes those customers are harder to impress.
I mean, a lot of them will buy the old stuff and then complain about how the graphics suck.
Even so, Kyle says video games aren't just for the nerds, they're for everyone to enjoy.
They are for everyone. They're for, you know, you could be working in construction or an office job, you can come home, you can relax and play a game. There's something for everyone.
Inside this unassuming building and down this hall, you'll find Anthony Wynn. On this day, he's breathing new life into this horn, making it shine.
Sometimes I work on 2 or 3 horns at the same time.
He combs through his arsenal of parts and tools to keep instruments for area band kids and musicians in tip-top shape.
Flute, clarinet, saxophone, brass instruments, mainly.
Diagnosing the problem and finding the solution is second nature for him.
I was actually working on instruments before I even knew what I was doing.
Minus a few years, Anthony has been here since 1982 when he graduated from Northwestern. Sherm's opened in 1980.
And I just thought I was in heaven, you know, walking into a building with one of the great musicians of all time.
That musician, local jazz legend Sherm Mitchell. That's Anthony over his shoulder in this picture.
Everybody used to come here.
Sherm's was the hangout spot for local musicians and band directors across Flint.
this place holds such memories.
Anthony says he learned from the best and tries to carry on Sherm's legacy, who passed away in 2013.
We love what we do. We don't make a lot of money at it by no means.
The shop is now owned by musician and U of M Flint lecturer Joe Wright. They continue the challenging and rewarding work, which is recognized across the state.
Matter of fact, we just got an instrument from up north.
It's the quality work that keeps generations coming back.
Now we have 10-year-olds that were 10-year-olds at the time bringing their 10-year-olds in, adults bringing their 10. Second generations coming here now.
But Anthony admits it's not as busy as it used to be, with some local school systems cutting music programs and younger people not as interested in learning an instrument.
This is kind of a dying craft, too.
It's becoming more of a lost art, if you will.
A lot of the repair people like us are kind of dying off, you know, sad to say.
But it's Anthony's passion, and he's not slowing down his tempo anytime soon.
I'm 62 years old. So I'm thinking about just keep it going until I can't go anymore.
He says if he can bring a smile to just one customer's face, then it's well worth it.
When a little kid or family comes down that hallway and the kid's broken instrument and sad face, and I'm like, sweetheart, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it for you.
This was built in 1946.
Located 10 minutes outside of Frankenmuth and Bridgeport off King Road, you'll spot this towering white barn.
The first thing they say is the pictures don't do it justice.
Owner Chris Birdie says she first visited the barn during an estate sale in 2022.
My daughter kept telling me I needed to buy a barn. I kept telling her no.
But this beautiful structure changed her mind.
When I walked into that barn and you just look up and you look at that, the detail of the construction of that barn was just, it just took your breath away.
Since that day, she has worked to transform the property into what's now known as the Woodbridge Event Barn.
It has changed drastically.
What was once a dairy barn was gutted. With a background in contracting, Chris had an idea of what she was up against, but it was still a lot of work.
It's been exciting, it's been stressful at times, making a lot of decisions.
New level floors were put in, lights were strung from the more than 40-foot tall ceilings, accessible ramps were added, and beautiful landscaping was put in.
The weddings have been absolutely gorgeous. Everybody's had a wonderful time.
You may feel for a moment you're not on a farm, but touches like a silo bar won't let you forget.
Everybody loves to hang out here.
My biggest thing that I love is actually creating an experience for the couple to remember for a lifetime.
Janine Rex is the marketing and events manager for Woodbridge.
It is the perfect place, in my opinion, because we're all here. So basically you can come here in the morning, get ready for the day, both men and women.
Next to the barn, the home on the property was converted to a giant bridal suite where the bridal party can spend time getting ready for the ceremony. There's also a space dedicated to the guys with this man cave, pool table included.
There are so many options on how a wedding day can flow, and however you want to see it will help you create it.
For Janine, the barn itself is the true star.
It is very romantic, it is very intimate. I think what makes just the whole property my favorite is the history. This is where they kept the bull.
It's details like the original door to the barn and a calf room now used as a photo booth room that make the space unique.
And just to think that one day there was a bull back here.
We can go from very casual to very elegant. Wherever your dream is, I think this will fit.
They want to make your wedding day as easy and special as possible.
What you see on the website is what is included. There's no hidden costs, no hidden fees.
If they're looking for something different, definitely look at us.
It has truly been a pleasure meeting everyone and sharing those wonderful stories throughout Mid-Michigan. We are always interested in hearing your story and what makes this area so great. If you do have a story that you would like to share on Good Morning Mid-Michigan, please email us at goodmorning@abc12.com. We would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching some of the best of 2024. I'm looking forward to what 2025 will bring and can't wait to share more of your stories every morning here on Good Morning Mid-Michigan. We'll see you next year.